Hi, hello, friends. Welcome back to Night Court Narrative. I hope you're doing well. I am Elvish. Hello. Today we are discussing the Saturday Night Ghost Club. I already forgot the name of it. I'm not gonna lie, this is gonna be a really short video, and I'm so sorry. I'm just gonna be so real with you. I'm gonna read the synopsis because I have no clue what this book is about. Growing up in the 1980s, Jake spends most of his time with his uncle Calvin. He's an eccentric enthusiast of occult artifacts and conspiracy theories. The summer Jake turns 12, he befriends a pair of siblings new to town, and so Calvin decides to initiate them in the Saturday Night Ghost Club. But as the summer goes on, what begins as seemingly lighthearted project may ultimately uncover more than any of its members. Blah, 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 whatever. Fuck it. Okay. This book was supposed to be book 2/3 of Spooktimber. I love this cover so much. It gave me very 80s vibes, which I know it's from the 80s, what the fuck ever, or it's like inspired by the 80s. I get that, but it did give me very much 80 vibes, and I really enjoyed the cover. It was so gorgeous. Everyone and their mothers on TikTok kept telling me to read it for fall, and they were like, if you want this really good, well-written, cozy book, add this to your TBR. And I'm like, you know what? Bet. I did end up DNFing this book. Mind you, let me start by... This is not part of the reason why I DNF'd, but let me get into this. This book is 300 pages long. This book only has 7 chapters, meaning each book is an average of around 45 pages per chapter. And now, with that also being said, first of all, I'm a hater when it comes to super long chapters. However, the only character that was written well in this book is Uncle Calvin. Uncle Calvin was amazing. He gave me vibes as Back to the Future. He gave me very Back to the Future vibes. The book was very much Back to the Future meets Stranger Things meets Ghostbusters. It was a really cool concept. I really loved the concept at hand. I just think the execution was so wrong. I did end up DNFing this book about 75% through. So I did read majority of it. I just couldn't anymore. And, you know, it sucks because I've said it in some videos, under describing books will ruin a book, and then overly describing a book will ruin a book too. This book was so heavily overwritten and over described, I would prefer to bash my head in than read another page. And I'm being so completely honest with that. So there is, as I mentioned, each chapter has roughly between 42 and 45 pages in it. I think the actual number is like 43. I don't fucking remember. But there's like 42 to 45 pages per chapter. Mind you, the only thing that actually happens... Now, mind you, let me take this as an example, or like, let me say this as an example. Getting up, walking to my front door, walking out, and starting my car takes 45 pages for this man to tell you anything about it. And I understand that some people like having everything described to them, but I don't need the touch, the feel, the taste, the smell of every single thing that these characters fall on. When there are like 5 to 6 characters and their eyes hit one thing, oh, the wall was nice, smooth, round. Like, I didn't fucking ask that. Like, okay, cool, it's a wall. Next, like, oh, this sounds so harsh, but like, Calvin was really great. I loved how he interacted with the children. I really do love his character. He was very well written. He was actually a pretty decent character. I liked how kooky he was. I liked how weird he was. His enthusiasm with the occult and how he just talked about everything. He was so passionate. And of course you have the dad, which I'm assuming is his brother. I don't know how he's an uncle on whose side. Like, I don't know if he's the mom's brother or the dad's brother. I'm going to assume the dad's brother with how he's talking about him. But of course the dad is like, oh yeah, like this fucking weirdo. Like, you're gonna eventually grow up and realize that he's just out of his mind. But like, at the end of the day, like, yeah, he's kind of weird. He's kind of like one of those doomsday preppers, but like ghost wise. But at the end of the day, he was a very, very well written character, and I did actually like him. I do think if he had his own book, like an own standalone book, not with other characters, mind you, just him, I think the author would be able to write a very well book with him. Like, I think that book would be amazing. However, I don't think this character I'm sorry, excuse me. I don't think this author is necessarily the best just based off of this one book. I don't think the character can handle multiple characters at once. Each child had the exact same fucking personality. Each child, to almost an extent, had the same mannerisms. There was one child, I think, I can't remember his name, to be honest with you. One of the little kids did speak a little bit differently, but it was probably like one word every 2 to 3 sentences. But then everything after that, you're just like, who the fuck is this? But then, like, I'm also getting to that point where I also don't want to just say it about this book, but just in general, I'm so tired of authors writing as if we're absolutely fucking dumb. I hate that. Like, we wouldn't need you to sit there and say the main character's name every 2 seconds in the same sentence if you would just write the characters where they're easily, like, if I can easily differentiate who is talking, you don't have to say Jake said this and then Jake grabbed this, but then Jake saw this and Jake, I'm fucking well aware that it's Jake, my guy. I am well aware that it is Jake, my guy. But like, I feel like authors nowadays are just treating us like we're absolutely stupid, and they just overly explain everything as if we just have no comprehension skills, and it just completely infuriates me. And I really, 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 really tried to love this book. I really did. I made this one of my very first books that I went to. I was actually going to wait until closer to Halloween to read this book, but everything about it intrigued me so much. I was like, no, I have to read it first. And I'm actually glad I got it out of the way. But like, y'all know that whenever I do reviews, I do everything I can to be as nice as possible. I don't really like doing bad reviews. Bad reviews do come out every once in a while because not every book can be a winner. But like, I do my best to be as respectful as humanly possible, but then there are just some books like this that just absolutely infuriate me to my core. And I don't understand. I don't understand. Being practically called stupid by the author is one thing, but then having 5 to 6 characters all acting, sounding, talking, moving like the same person, like, that's probably why he was treating us stupid with the amount of name calling, but at the same time, you wouldn't have to do that if it was just written properly. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Either way, this book, again, when I don't like a book, I go on Goodreads just to kind of like see what the average kind of says. It looks like the average review is around 3 stars, which does make me feel a little bit better. There are a lot of 5 stars. Again, probably everyone on fucking TikTok. I'm at the point too where I'm gonna stop listening to people on TikTok, because 9 times out of 10 TikTok recommendations are the worst books to ever exist. But I don't know. I don't know. I feel like if you want to give this book a chance, definitely go give this book a chance. I definitely will not recommend this. I'm just going to wipe it from my whole memory and just pretend like I never read it and hope that I get that time back in my life. But of course, I have nothing nice to say, so I'm gonna just go ahead and end the video. If you guys liked this video, let me know what you liked. If you hated the video, let me know what you hated. And of course, I would love to discuss it with y'all. But until the next video, hopefully I have yet another super highly recommended book coming next week, and I hope it is as good as everyone says it is, because I have high hopes for it. But until then, I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Bye.